Hey guys, what's up? Gids here for another video, and today we are going to have 5 tips for Crossfield. So Crossfield is a new content that has been out in the game for a couple of days now for us, and it's actually one of the game modes that I really enjoy. It's actually pretty fun. I never expected the whole server to actually come together as one, especially during our sieges and boss during the boss, right? So this is a very very rare chance to see the toxicity in your server being used. The toxic energy in your server used towards another enemy server. So it's actually pretty fun. So to see all that unfold. So anyways, let me know if you guys also enjoy the Crossfield content or not really. The main thing that I really enjoy with it is the tower siege and the boss. It's super fun because a lot of players are coming together trying to achieve one objective, and I think that's the most fun part of it. Okay, so let's get on with the 5 tips that you can use for Crossfield. And by the way, before we start, I just want to say I'm going to start streaming on Facebook as well now. So I'm going to start streaming on Facebook every weekends. So weekends you can catch me there 6 p.m. facebook.com/kids.gg. Okay, so I'm going to start streaming there. What's the date? December 4. Okay, for Lava Valley and a fight for the throne. Okay, so that's actually tomorrow. Sunday. December 4, Sunday, fight for the throne. Watch us try try to actually play Fight for the Throne. It's our first time participating, so it's going to be fun. Okay, so we'll see you guys there, and let's get back to the video. Okay, so I mentioned 5 tips, but I'm actually going to have one more special tip or bonus tip at the end. So stick around if you want to get in on that. But let's go ahead and start off with the first tip right now. Is that a lot of people might forget, but I think there's a notification for whenever you do the handbooks, but you might forget. But this is just a quick tip for everyone because there is an enhancement here where you have to enhance tier 1 shard to tier 3. So don't rush getting tier 2s and tier 3s right away. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty normal for everyone to actually try to rush going for tier 3s because they give the best stats. But don't ignore this one, but because you might not be able to progress, and you'll get a lot of resources here, especially these things over here, additional time, recipes and whatnot. So recipes are actually going to be important, but let's talk about that later. But let me just show you the stat differences for the shards. So if you're wondering which shards are actually the best to farm, it's going to be the tier 3s right now. There's tier 4s and tier 5s if you look over here, right? So there's actually tier 6, right? So there are tier 6, but right now at floor 1, tier 3 is the best that you can find. So it's best that you farm for tier 3. So if you look at a rare tier 3 over here, you have attack 72, defense 72, and you have an additional passive here that decreases damage. But really the stat that we just care about in Crossfield is pierce and resist. This one gives 175, while a tier 3 normal gives you 157, and it's actually easier to drop the normals than the rare. So it's better to farm for tier 3s and enhance tier 3s as you can, and of course look for attack stats. Okay, so that's your tip number 1. Let's go on to tip number 2 and start with the food here that I mentioned. So you have the foods over here, you can unlock it through your kingdom, but it's going to be super expensive if your kingdom does not have gold. But you have here the new dishes that we have. So red aura locum. So this one increases attack by 300, but also increases pierce by 5%. So this one's really good when you want to farm because this lasts for 10 minutes and you just need probably 4 to 5 every day to farm your space time, your Crossfield, right? So you don't have to really commit a lot of this one to this one, but the recipes, you don't have the recipes, but yeah, I'm expecting there to be blue juice or red juice for the red one, and yeah, you have the red mandarin peel for the red pots. Okay, so why is this relevant? Because when you go to Crossfield over here, right, and you click the monsters, there's usually 2 variants, right? Let me TP inside because it's easier to show it inside, right? Okay, so if you look at loot table for the monsters over here, so usually you have, well, don't think about area 2 and area 3, but you will see those drops. But when you get to area 11, 12, something like that, or maybe 9, 10, you'll see that these are the same mobs, but they have actually different drops. So you have to think about what kind of ingredients you actually want, because that's the only difference that we have here. One gives you the blue one and the other one gives you the red one. I suggest you prioritize getting the red one because the red one gives you pierce or additional pierce damage, and that's mostly what matters here. You don't really need a lot of the resist one unless you're going for the PvP aspect already. Okay, so for me it's more important to go for the red one. Alright, so yeah, let's go. Okay, tip number 3 is that you already know that you have an indicator here for easy, normal, and hard for monsters, right? But did you know that you can also see that indicator on other players? So you'll easily know or identify which players are easy for you to defeat, right? If you're going to PvP, if you're seeing green, yellow, or red, you know who to avoid, you know who to go for, right? So basically, if you're seeing green, it just means that their resist is super low and your pierce is already super high versus them, right? So you're just going to compare pierce and the resist stats. So where you can find that, it's over here in space-time cube down here. Okay, so right now I have 501, 501. So if I'm facing against players that have around, I think it's around 100 to 200, I'll see green in their names. But when I'm facing the same levels, 400 to 600, I think that's yellow, and then anything above that, it's already red for me. Okay, so yeah, everyone here is already green. Seeing a lot of greens here. Right. So these guys want to fight. I'm not on my PvP deck, so I'm gonna be in danger here. But yeah, look, they're having a hard time against me. They're having a hard time against me. Because they're all greens. Right. So yeah, sorry for bullying, but nah, it's not even bullying. They were the ones who jumped me. Anyways, that's another indicator that you want to look for if you're trying to go for PvP. Okay, so that's tip number 3. Okay, your next tip is on hostile mode. Okay, so whenever you enter Crossfield, you don't have to be afraid of putting on hostile mode because this is mostly a PK area. You don't have to be afraid of putting this one and forgetting that you are on hostile mode, because when you actually leave Crossfield, will go back to the PvP mode that you have before you entered Crossfield. So right, you saw I was on hostile, but now I left. I'm on neutral. Okay, so if you entered Crossfield on neutral, you will leave Crossfield on neutral, so you don't have to worry about turning off hostile mode. So whenever I actually just enter Crossfield, I never turn off hostile mode because everyone's out for blood in that area. Okay, so that's a quick tip. Let's move on to the next tip. Okay, so for our tip number 5, I think this is already 5, right? I don't remember. Anyways, for changing stats, you can see here you can change your stats. So at enhanced level or +3, you'll unlock the second slot, and at +7, you'll unlock the third slot. But you don't know yet, there's actually tiers of stats, right? So for example, this one, for a tier 3 shard, you can get values of attack at 54, 65, 75, and 86, which is 86 is the max. So you can actually do this one infinite number of times if you don't want the stat that you currently own. But you're only going to spend, of course, another tier 3 shard. So for example, this one, I don't like attack +65. I want it to go higher. Then if you really want to min-max, then you can just change it here as many times as you can. But remember, there's tiers of it, okay? And then of course, if you don't like the stat that came in, you don't have to apply the stat. You can definitely cancel it over here and it's not going to change it, okay? So that's the thing that you want to keep in mind for this one. So if you're trying to chase for the perfect stat, then I recommend always going for attack. I mean, easiest choice is attack. No one really desires getting any other stat than attack, right? Attack is the best stat in the game right now. Okay, so yeah, that's it for changing your stats. Okay, so remember, it's always best to get or to use or enhance your tier 3 before the tier 3 rares. This one only gives you a minimal amount of player damage decrease, and stats wise, it's not always better than the tier 3s, okay? Higher enhancements is always going to be better again in this, same as with your equipments, okay? So let's go. Okay, so for your bonus tip, so this is applicable for everyone who owns the tower. So if you won your tower siege, you will be able to actually TP. So if you look at here, I can't actually TP right now, right? It's only saying move, right? But if you actually want to fast travel into your tower, you can click on this icon up here below your event or right beside the exit. Click on that one. Click on area 13 where you have your tower, and you can actually fast travel. So this is only applicable for people that acquired the tower or won their tower siege. So if your server lost the tower siege, you can actually TP on this one. So why is this very useful? The boss spawns right over here. So usually when the boss spawns, there's a huge PvP against the two servers again trying to contest or get the higher contribution, right? But if you die, you're going to spawn from there, over there. It's so far away. You're going to spawn in a safe area, right? But everything here is red, so you will not be able to TP right away, and you don't really want to walk a very long distance. So what you can do is just click on this one and click your tower, area 13, fast travel. Okay, you can also do this one by going to Battlefield and Crossfield. Okay, it's the same thing. Click on that one and fast travel. But of course, it's so much easier to just click this icon over here. Okay, so that's all the tips that I have right now, and definitely enjoying this content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you're enjoying it, if you're hating it. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. And of course, if you have any additional tips and tricks that you can share to other players, leave it down on the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. Like the video if you haven't yet. Thank you very much for watching. See you again next time. Bye-bye.